Welcome back, everyone. We continue live right here on the Sports Call, presented by Ireland Contracting. Borders and Borders Hotline, you know the number. Give us a shout. You know the Twitter address, at KDPomp, at Ron Cook PG. And the NCAA tournament comes to a close tonight, and that means Western Pennsylvania Honda dealers, you know, they've been along with this madness all year long, and they have some interesting finales, including Villanova to win one of their brackets. Who is in it to win your championship bracket? For me, it was Michigan to beat Duke. That did not happen. Michigan still has a chance tonight, although they're down 14 points. They had an early 6-point lead, but Villanova's deep. They can start hitting their threes, and when they make shots, look out. It's now 46-32. Villanova leads that game. Once again, provided to us by the Western Pennsylvania Honda dealers of this area. I want to get into the Penguins run out because, Ron, I look at their situation. They lost at home last night, so they still have 96 points. Two teams right behind them, Columbus and Philadelphia, with 94, and then New Jersey, with a game in hand, has 93. I looked and I showed you the schedule coming up. The big game is, of course, Pittsburgh, Columbus on Thursday.
Could be home ice advantage.
Absolutely, it's going to come right down to that. But tomorrow, Columbus is at home and they take on Detroit. Now, we saw Detroit give Pittsburgh problems, but you would think that Columbus should win that game, and if so, they would move into a tie, so it comes down to that one game, really, for home ice in that matchup. Unless Philadelphia runs the table and they have the Islanders, Carolina, and the Rangers, they could win all three as well.
Hey, you know what? I have confidence in the Penguins no matter who they play. I hope they end up with second place with Columbus or Philly coming here because they're so much better as a home team this year than a road team. But if they had to go on the road, I'd be okay with that. If they finish fourth, they'll have to play Washington. And I think they're okay with playing Washington. That was a great game last night, Bob. I was there. I didn't want it to end. I mean, all the crap at the end with Malkin and Mark Recchi getting thrown out. The Penguins had 12 shots on the power play and couldn't score. I like to think they'll do that the next time. I don't even know who Washington's goaltender is now. The way Grubauer played last night, it's got to be him, right? And they got Holtby sitting on the bench. I still think it'll be both of those guys before it's over.
Grubauer is the #1, though, and tonight Washington is playing in St. Louis and winning that game 3-1. Mark Schwartz on Twitter says, Bob, you're stoned. There is no way Houston's staff is better than Washington. Well, wait a minute, Mark. You're going to tell me Verlander, all right, to go with Cole, Dallas Keuchel, who to me is the best left-hander in the game, at least right up there with one of them, and then Charlie Morton and McCullers. You're going to tell me Washington staff's better than that? I will disagree with that.
Bob, you're stoned. I agree with that. You are stoned.
Come on, Mark. I'm not stoned.
You are stoned. Bob is sober as a heart attack. I can
Rob
tell you that.
In the Hill District. Hey, Rob.
Hey, Bob.
You're not stoned, are you?
All off season, you've been saying the Pirates gave away McCutcheon and Cole with $20 million, and the Pirates ain't make no moves with that $20 million. Just suppose the Pirates have a good year, and then at the end of before the playoff at the trade deadline, they use that $20 million to get a left-handed starting pitcher and a reliever with that money, and we win the World Series. What you gonna say then, Bob?
All right, Rob. So you're predicting
they
the World
really
Series
go out
and the Super Bowl win.
They go out and really spend $20 million on a player, don't they? I don't see it happening.
Yeah, my criticism was they got a lot of money.
It's 4-0. Enjoy it.
Early.
It's
That's all I'm saying.
Early. It's a long season, Bob.
My criticism has been on the fact they made a lot of extra money this year, and they were the only major league free agent team not to sign a major league free agent.
Not one.
And they needed it. They needed help in a lot of different ways. That's all I'm saying, and I think that's a legitimate complaint. Let's go out to Joe in Penn Hills. Hey, Joe, how are you?
Hi, Bob. Hi, Ron.
Hey.
Good.
Hurdle has to flip-flop McCutcheon. Not McCutcheon, listen to me. Polanco and Marte. Marte's steals bases. He's a single double hitter, no discipline. The other guy's starting to learn to know the strike zone, and he has a big gap in when Marte's on first and trying to steal. And he has to be very careful, Hurdle, with his 4 bench players. He double switched Frazier today. He had to use Rodriguez. He used Freese in the 7th. He had one guy left to go if they win extra innings. He has to start seeing some vision, and go from there. It's all
well, I thought that I would have left Tyone in the game through that inning.
The way Hurdle operates, he does not worry about extra innings. He tries to win it in 9 innings, and he says that many times. If it goes to 12 or 13, I'll deal with it with 12 or 13. He wants to win it when he can win it. Yeah, he did have no bench. All he had left was Diaz, but that's a problem you run when you have 4 guys on the bench. They've decided to keep the extra reliever. I didn't think the bullpen was going to get them to Contos in the 9th inning today. Somehow they found a way.
It's amazing what the designated hitter does, because in Detroit, they went through that entire 13-inning game and they didn't use a bench player until very late in it because they didn't have to. No pinch hitters necessary when you have a DH, and pitchers don't have to bat, which is the inherent problem, I think, with the DH, the way I see it. But the only thing I would have said, I think Hurdle has a pretty good understanding of his team, his bullpen, and he likes to use it. Fine, but I would have left Tyone in. Would you have left him in through that inning? He didn't show any signs other than that.
It was 90-some pitches, though, Bob. First start. You know, those guys are slaves to the pitch count, and they don't take a chance letting these guys go more. He thought he could get through with the bullpen. It almost cost him.
What would you have done?
Today,
Yeah.
I might have left Tyone in
That's
to
what I would
finish
have
out the inning. I had no problem with him taking Trevor Williams out after 6, though.
No, I didn't either necessarily. But I thought today, just the way he was pitching, he had 9 strikeouts, no walks. He wasn't laboring on there at all. And as it turned out, by taking him out, you open up that bullpen, and if not for a good catch by Adam Frazier in left field, that would have tied the game, and they would have still been batting in that inning. Let's go to John in Banksville. Hey, John, how you doing?
Good, gentlemen. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
First, my congrats to the Notre Dame ladies. They hung tough.
How about that?
Ogunwala
was great. It was unbelievable what she was able to do. Some of the best shot making in critical situations in any level of basketball.
But my comment regarding the Penguins, I think it would be advantageous, obviously, for them to finish second for home ice. And I agree with Mr. Cook in the sense that even if they don't, they got a shot against anybody they would need to play. But the key to the playoffs this year is they have to stay healthy, particularly on defense. Their defense is suspect as it is. And if they go down one guy defensively, they're going to be in trouble.
Now, last year we saw no Chris Letang, and they won. So
right.
I get that. I still think I would have liked to, under different circumstances. To me, Ian Cole was a guy that really gave them a different element back there. I understand they had to make a trade. They made that trade. But I still would have liked to have had him here, given what I think is kind of a problem in terms of depth. I agree with that.
Hopefully, Broussard will be back for Thursday night in Columbus. They brought him in for the playoffs. He's missed the last 3 games. They need him to get going in the playoffs.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we have more calls on the way. We have Noah, Dale, and Jerry on the lines. We'll get to your calls next right here live on Pittsburgh CW.